citizens, and welcome to the He-Man Woman Haters News. I'm Michael Martin.
And I'm Kyle Powell.
In local news, Abraham Lincoln was found alive in a local brothel. Mass cow suicides are discovered on the west side, and a naked burglar was arrested near City Hall, covered in chocolate and peanut butter.
In national news, a proposed canal across Panama is being discussed in the White House. Our very own Michael Martin here was granted an interview with the president to discuss what got the idea rolling.
It was a very informative experience. Let's roll the tape.
Oh.
Hello, Mr. President. It is an honor to interview you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have an interview from you, Michael.
I would first like to start this interview out by asking you about your plans for creating the Panama Canal.
Well, my main goal is to increase the revenue in the economies of not only our country, but others as well. They can now trade with North and South America much easier because they don't have to go around the whole continent. Also, in times of war, our Navy can use this canal as a great advantage.
These are all great ideas, but won't this be very expensive?
Yes, at first, but I hope in time our revenue will gain from the occurrences and advantages.
Won't this cause problems with Panama?
We are now experiencing problems, but that's because Panama is under the control of Colombia, and they have not yet agreed with our plan.
How will we solve this problem?
Well, I hope in time they will agree with our plan, but if not, I'm prepared to go to war with them in order to build it.
Doesn't the Clayton-Bulwer Treaty of 1850 prevent us from creating the Panama Canal?
Well, I hope we can settle our differences with England, but if not, I will not start a conflict with them.
Do you have a plan of where you want to dig the Panama Canal?
Yes. Our engineers have told us that they have two sectioned areas. One in Nicaragua, which is longer, and the other in Panama, which is shorter but more rigged.
It's been a pleasure interviewing you, Mr. President.
No problem. Dog.
Well, I'm hooked. How was it meeting the president?
He had glorious sideburns and was a splendid little man, although not so little.
How do you know he had sideburns? Oh, okay. Well, let's play my interview I had earlier with the lead engineer on the Panama Canal. In our coverage of the Panama Canal, we have brought in the chief engineer on the project to tell us how it works. Welcome, John Fidley Wallace.
Thank you. It's great to be here tonight.
So, how does this canal work?
Well, a ship approaches from the ocean to the first lock. Well, obviously, right now this just isn't going to work. The water has to be drained from the second lock out into the ocean through the first lock. When this happens, the water levels are evened out, and then the gates are opened and the ship can pass through. Once the ship is successfully passed through the gate is closed, and the process is repeated for the third lock. But for the third lock, when the water is drained into the second lock, it raises the second lock and lowers the third lock, so the ship can safely pass through. Then for the third lock, water is drained from the lake into the third lock, raising the water level to the level of the lake, and then the ship can sail through the lake.
So, how is water drained between the locks?
There are amazingly no pumps used in this canal. It all works from gravity. Under each lock there are these valves, all connected through piping. When we want to lower or raise the water level of two locks, we open the valves of an upper lock and the valves of a lower lock. The water is then drained either out into the ocean or raising the water level, such as happens in this one. This happens in the second lock. The water gushes through these valves and evening out the water level.
A very genius idea, sir. Thank you for being here. And that concludes our coverage of how it works.
The idea of using gravity to propel the water into the locks was ingenious. Sounds like something I would think of.
If you weren't a lowly newscaster, or, well, you know.
We'll return after this break.
Oh, ow, ow, oh, ow, oh. Hey there, citizen. You look like you could use a helping hand. Shoes. Oh, thank you, sir. They're very nice, thank you. Of course. Yippee!
Have you ever had a problem with pesky robbers stealing everything in your house? Well, with this, you'll never have that problem again. They won't want to come around, and more importantly, they won't even be able to come back. All you have to do is open it up, throw in both your shells, close it back up, and you're ready to go. I think I hear a robber right now. Oh wait, I forgot the first rule. Always double tap. See, now all you have to do is eject your shells, throw in 2 more, close it up, and you're ready to go again. Call 1-800, get a shotgun now.
Welcome back. Sorry for that little scuffle.
I hate you.
Let's just move on, Kyle. Now that we know why the canal is being built and how it will work, one reporter was wondering what construction meant to the Panamanian environment.
That reporter was our very own Garrett Gallagher. He went to Panama for an on-site report about the environmental destruction in Panama. Let's go to him now.
Oh, hey there, citizen. You look like you know a lot about how the Panama Canal has affected the environment.
Yes.
Well, can you tell our viewers how it has?
Yes.
Well, what is it?
Do you know how many trees they cut down from the rainforest in order to build the Panama Canal?
A lot. Well, do you know the percentage of these trees that were cut down?
70% of the rainforest has been cut down and only 30% is left.
Oh, wow. I bet they didn't do anything to compensate for all those trees being cut down.
Let's fight the power, man.
What? Oh, okay. Do you have anything else?
Yes, there's a lot of other things.
Well, what are they?
Man, I was getting there.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, there has been a huge depletion of the water from the rainforest being cut down, and a lot more water is needed to fill the Panama Canal.
Oh, those poor animals.
Yes, I know.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, man, they also diverted the rivers. There used to be a river going this way, now it's going this way. It blew my mind, man.
Dang, that sounds incredible. Well, that's all the time we have, and it's nice meeting you. Everyone out of the water! I'm filling up the canal!
Agua! Rápido, rápido!
We need more water!
Enlightening. Thank you, Garrett.
I never realized that they changed the ecosystem so much.
They certainly have. When we come back, we will have more on the effects of the Panama Canal, both the good and the bad.
Whoa, looks like it's about to rain. Good thing I bought this umbrella.
Oh, man, I wish I bought an umbrella.
Do you want to share some of mine?
Yeah.
Too bad. Oh. Don't be like this, citizen. Buy an umbrella today.
Excuse me, citizen. Do you have the time?
Well, I have 6:01, 12:30, 3:15, 5, and 12:30. Which one would you like?
72.
Watches. Get some. Welcome back.
Nothing happened over the break.
Nothing at all. My co-anchor was too scared to try anything.
We're settling this after the news.
Moving on. Now that the Panama Canal has been open and operating for the past 10.5 months, our new agency decided to take a closer look.
And indeed, one of our very own reporters did. Our own David Renner sat down with the economic expert to bring you the hard facts about the effects the Panama Canal is having on the country. Right there. But first, give this to me.
No, I need this. I need it.
Welcome, Pete, the crazy economist.
It's a pleasure to be here, Charles. A pleasure indeed.
It's David Ackley.
David, you look more like a Charles. Can we make it Charles just for this interview, please? Just for me?
I suppose we can. Let's begin with the question that I'm sure is on most Americans' minds. What does the Panama Canal mean to the United States economy?
Well, the economy is improved greatly by the canal. First off, trade is now easier, cheaper, and faster. Domestic trade, for example, take petroleum. You can now import and export from the East Coast to the West Coast very easily.
It sounds incredible.
It is incredible. An engineering and economic great success.
I'm sorry, but do we have another economist I can speak to? Anybody really?
He's all we can afford.
You actually paid this guy for this?
Well, actually, he kind of just walked in.
Going on. Let's talk about the global economy. What does the Panama Canal mean to the rest of the world?
Well, it helps their economies too. For example, they can now trade across with easier, less fuel wasted. And they have a more profit window now. They can now trade with places that they wouldn't be able to trade before and get new things.
Very interesting. But it sounds like the United States is the main beneficiary of this canal.
Well, yes, that would be the case. It was built by America for America. Even since the opening of it, they have charged tolls for the ships coming through and going out. They have made, since the opening, after 10.5 months, $4,969,792.
But what about Panama? Shouldn't the country that this canal runs through be the main beneficiary?
Not exactly. They do get some revenue from the ships coming through, but the area around the canal is mostly owned by the United States. See, they control the ships coming in and out, the tolling for the ships, and the selling of coal.
The selling of coal?
Yes. See, coal is sold to the ships as a source of fuel because it is cheap and readily available, instead of going all the way around South America where it would be hard to find coal.
Very interesting. Well, thank you, Pete, the crazy economist, for joining us on this program and enlightening us about the benefits of the Panama Canal. This is David Renner reporting for He-Man Woman Haters News.
Charles Renner. It has been a pleasure, Charles. A pleasure indeed.
Oh.
Ooh, sorry there, David.
Let's just keep going.
Good idea. Now we end with the darker side of the Panama Canal.
Finally, with the best report of all.
Hardly, but it is the most tragic.
That it is. I want an investigative report to discover what no other reporter dare cover: the complications and human cost of the Panama Canal.
I was going to Panama to investigate the consequences of the canal, the death toll. I started my journey on the west side and walked my way to the east side. Along the way, I discovered some very interesting things. The first thing I discovered was that the Frenchmen were pansies. The only thing accomplished in 24 years of construction was 22,000 Frenchmen dead and $287 million spent. Disease was rampant along the living quarters and hospitals of the French, with yellow fever and malaria being carried by large swarms of mosquitoes. Nothing was done to stop the mosquitoes because they're unknown to carry the diseases at the time. Accidents were also a large cause of death, with a lack of an experienced French workforce causing many more French to die. The U.S. took over the project in 1904 after a dispute with Colombia which caused Panamanian independence. The U.S. paid the French $40 million for the canal and its assets, and Panama $10 million for every year that it worked on it. The mosquito problem was solved by U.S. spending millions of dollars by putting netting over everything, wire mesh in the hospital windows, and drawing up mosquito breeding pools, and even helping Panamanian towns with their mosquito problems as well. Even so, 5,600 Americans lost their lives working on the canal, much less, though, than the Frenchmen, and once again proving our dominance over them. So I think I gotta be going now, or I'll become like him.
Excellent job, Kyle. A sobering report.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight.
I'm Kyle Powell.
And I'm Michael Martin, signing off for the He-Man Woman Haters News. Thank you for watching.
Don't show those mosquito bites really flat.
Mosquito bites.
Also, the wind's blowing it. That's why it sometimes goes on.
And you kind of stare me.
Remember the Alamo! Remember the Alamo!
Remember the Alamo?
Remember the Alamo! Remember the Alamo! Eat the shovels!
Get digging, slaves!
I'm no slave, I'm Theodore Roadway.
No slave. What?
Take off. Hey, take off your shirts and start.
Yes, good. You filthy Panaman.
Look what you've done to us. You may have your money, but you also have my humanity and the humanity of my family. I hope your money was worth it.
Get back to work.
Quiet on the set.
That was recording, just so you know.
David, you're so strong.
Down managed ball.
Can you spell it?
Come on.
No, I'm gonna make you stand there and enjoy it.
Keep going.
Bonsai!
You flinched.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah!
Shut up back there. Action.
They're great, thank you. Of course.
Yippee!
Shit, I messed up. I zoom in, and then I zoom out, and then I zoom back in. Oh crap, I'm still filming.
Excuse me, citizen, do you have the time?
Well, I have 6, 5:30, 12, and 1:30. And also, I have 4 o'clock. Which one would you like?
72.
It's easier and faster and cheaper.
Sounds incredible.
Yes, it's quite incredible. It is an engineering and economic great success. Hey, you look more like a Charles to me. Can we go, Charles? I would like that a lot, and I'd leave if you told me your name wasn't Charles or anything. For example, domestic trade. For another example of domestic trade, petroleum. If you're taking East Coast petroleum to the West Coast petroleum, it's much easier. Domestic trade. For example, petroleum. If you want to travel petroleum from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yes.
Oh, you better be able to hear me.
Yes. Yes.
It was good stuff.
Oh, I'm having sex.
We finally did it.